Good morning and welcome to Missoula Real Estate Today. This is Denny Bedard. Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Diane's been working with buyers and sellers in the Missoula market for over 25 years. Along with her trusted partners, Diane provides complete service for your real estate transaction and brings us guests who provide useful information on industry-related topics and trends. And now, Missoula Real Estate Today on News Talk, KGVO. Nice of you to be here this morning. We welcome you to Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Always brings great guests to the show, and these two, they are neither men nor are they in a truck. They might be in a truck. I didn't look out in the parking lot, but they will be doing a fine job representing two men and a truck, movers who care, servicing Missoula and Bitterroot Valleys. That would be Giselle Bright and Jillian Davis with two men and a truck. I welcome you both to the show. And let's see, Giselle, I guess we'll start with you. How you came to work for two men and a truck and what all you do.
Certainly. So I actually attended college over in Rocky Mount College, Billings, Montana. Graduated in May of 2018, and I joined Two Men and a Truck of Missoula. Met Devin. He's the owner and franchisee there. From starting, went from like marketing and operations and now to general manager.
Very good. And Jillian, same question for you. How you came to work at Two Men and a Truck. I think you're kind of the newbie there, but what all do you do?
Yes, I am. So I currently serve as the office intern. I am a student at U of M currently. I'll be done in December. I found the opening online, applied. Giselle gave me a call, and it was a great environment, really good experience. I kind of just support Giselle and Devin, whatever they need, do my best for office support.
Excellent. What are you going to be getting a degree in as you're getting close to wrapping it up?
Yeah, it'll be organizational communication.
All right. You said graduating in December. You mean as in this December, the month of 2019?
Yes, in about 2 weeks.
Are you going to go through? Are you going to go through the ceremony, the graduation ceremony?
I'll be coming back for the spring.
Okay. All right. Good enough. The reason I mention that is because one of my coworkers, Peter Christian, and I, we did it one time, and I thought, well, we're only going to do it one time, but I guess now we're the house band because they ask us every time there's a graduation ceremony, and it's a big honor. I'm always happy to do it, but Peter and I announce all the names of the graduates as they come up to get their diplomas. So if we don't see you in a couple of weeks, we'll see you in the spring, hopefully. Since we are on a real estate show, what is hosted by Diane Beck of Windermere? What is the relationship with Windermere Real Estate? How did you get invited to be on the show?
So it was about 2 years ago, and Windermere reached out to us, and they say, hey, our customers are buying homes, and they need to move. What can you tell us about that? So that's how we started this relationship.
Yeah, well, that's probably a good contact to have, isn't it?
Yep, movers are extremely important, and especially reliable ones and ones who care.
Yeah, what all they want to know when realtors contact you? Are they just kind of looking for an overview of estimates? I know that's really hard, or referrals, or they just kind of want to get on your radar, or what are they looking to find out from you?
Yeah, so typically when a realtor reaches out, they are looking to gather information about the general moving process, just make sure we service that customer's home in that area. They also want to know more about what do their clients need to give to us so we can build them an estimate. So we kind of give them the lowdown of the information we need in order to build them that quote.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Our guests, Giselle and Jillian from Two Men and a Truck. Your name, Two Men and a Truck. It has that small town charm to it. We want everyone to understand you can handle local moves of any size, but the company's background, was it literally two men and a truck at one time?
It was literally two men and a truck. So it started out in the Lansing, Michigan area. They were two high school boys that wanted to make some extra money. And from that, their mom took over once they left for college, and she kind of groomed it into this system of over 300 strong franchises in the United States and also a little bit overseas as well.
Yeah, there's probably a couple guys all over the country after all these years saying, why didn't I think of that, huh?
Yeah, it's a good name. It's a solid company.
Yeah, nationwide company, as you mentioned, with an emphasis on local. That's what Two Men and a Truck is all about. So big emphasis on local. Is that a fair description?
That is 100% fair. We are locally owned and operated, so each franchise has their own franchisee. We get support from the main home office over in Lansing, but we do run independently from each other. So yes, we are indeed local.
When you say you can customize your moving services, and I will admit I'm stealing little bits and pieces of your website here. Mm-hmm. When you say you can customize your moving services to fit unique needs, what are some of the examples of that? I imagine every customer has some kind of a unique need, right?
Yes, they do. That is a big part of my job. Customer calls in. We start off with, what does your house look like? Are you in an apartment? Are you a house? Are you on the second floor? Are there stairs? How many rooms? What are we moving? It just depends on the move, the person. Sometimes we only move, the big stuff like beds, and they have pianos or couches. And sometimes we do everything from the pack to getting you into either a new home, apartment, storage, anything like that. It's really case-by-case basis what we're moving.
What's involved in the training process? And I mean for your movers. You want to hire a moving company whose crew members have gentle hands, right?
Correct. So all of our movers and drivers go through extensive training. So we start in-house. We go through video training of how to load a truck, how to pad furniture, how to make sure you're protecting those floors and the drywall. And then once they get through that video training, we have them jump on a truck. And what they do is they're going to be mentored by a seasoned driver, most likely. The drivers are the leaders out there, and they will teach them how to pad and stretch up, how to use a dolly, the difference between a box dolly, an appliance dolly, furniture dolly versus a six-wheel dolly. So we talk about when to use the right tools.
What's the reaction of most of the trainees? Are they kind of, wow, I had no idea so much was involved, or are they, yeah, all of this makes sense. I get that. I imagine you probably get a lot of different reactions from prospective movers that are going to come to work for Two Men in a Truck.
Yep, we do get a lot of different reactions. I think what is surprising in most cases is that you don't have to be the big, burly football player in order to be a successful mover or driver. Yeah. You need to know how to use your tools and your leverage in order to get the job done safely and correctly.
And you try to stay, as we've talked about a little bit already, you try to stay pretty local with your moves. Do you have a limit as to how far you will go or how far you will move someone?
We do move locally here within the Bitterroot Valley within Missoula. We also go across Montana and even out of state. So we do service, Washington, Idaho, Oregon, northern Arizona, central Arizona. We've gone to New Mexico. So all over the place. Typically they start here in Montana and then we take them out of state.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate and our guests Giselle and Jillian with Two Men in a Truck. Jillian started to answer this question a little bit. What's the booking process like? I mean, you get a phone call. I'm moving from Corvallis to Missoula. How much is that going to cost? Well, there's some blank spaces we need to fill in there, I'm sure, right? Probably a lot of blank spaces.
Yeah, so typically when someone calls in and says, hey, I'm moving, we make sure to check the schedule first, make sure that the day that they are looking at moving, we are open and available. We have the crew members. We like to make sure that, we're not overworking our crews or anything like that. I then go from there if that date works for them. I basically have them do a walkthrough of their home, just room to room. You
have the homeowners do the walkthrough, you mean, not the movers.
Yes, right, the homeowner.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt
typically we're on the phone with them. I'm like, okay, let's start in your living room. What do you have in there? Okay. And they'll list out, I've got a couch, I have an armchair, a TV, an entertainment stand. I make sure to ask questions throughout some commonly forgotten items, laundry, appliances, any attics or storage spaces, garages, outside, things like that. But we do a big walk through their home. I input it into our system, and that usually spits me out an estimate for hourly. Mm-hmm. We do include drive time and everything, so the time that it takes us, to get down to, say, Corvallis, back up to Missoula, or wherever we're going. It is pretty case by case how much stuff people have. We've done huge moves that are hours on end, or we do moves that are about an hour in total. It just depends on what all you're moving.
Are most people, when they call you, they're looking for a specific date to move, or do they give you a range of, it could be done anytime in the next couple of weeks? It
varies. It varies quite a bit. We have some people will be working on closing on their houses, and so they kind of give us a range of, I'll be moving in the end of December, so I'll pull up about a 2-week span and just say, well, it looks like we are either like pretty full as of right now, but have availability at X time, or looks like we're pretty open. Just let us know as soon as you can. We typically start booking out about 2 weeks in advance, depending. Summer does get a lot busier than the winter. But some people have a specific date that they can't move, and then some are kind of up in the air.
I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you about, you're called 2 Men and a Truck. How many trucks 2 Men and a Truck has right now? And I imagine, you would like to grow and expand, but where are you at right now?
Yeah, so we have, depending on the season, so we have about 12 to 13 movers and drivers in the summer, and then in the wintertime we whittle down to about 6. So we do have that big swing in the amount of crew members. As far as trucks, we have a little 16-foot truck with a lift gate, and then we have 2 big 26-foot trucks. We also rent out trucks in the summer to help fulfill that extra demand as it gets a little bit crazy that time of year.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I got a little off track there, but I didn't want to forget to ask you that before I moved on. So we've made arrangements to hire 2 men in a truck to do your move. This date is agreeable to me, and yeah, your price sounds very reasonable, and I like where we're going on this. So now the big day. What happens on the day of the move?
Yeah, so typically a couple days before, you'll receive a pre-move call from either myself or Giselle. Just, hey, we're coming out. Just a reminder, this time, your crew. A lot of people will request that the crew give them a call when they're on their way. So typically the crew will just say, hey, we're heading out your way. Yeah. We're 20 minutes away. And the day of the move, the crew shows up. Usually we do like an in-progress call on some of the moves. Just, hey, how's it going? Are the movers there? Is everything okay? Making sure that's also usually done in the office. Sometimes we'll head out ourselves. I've gone out on a move and just, hey, how's it going? Is the crew, really? Doing everything they're supposed to? I haven't had anything happen that's not supposed to be happening. And then afterwards, we will close out all the paperwork, do a follow-up call. How'd the move go? Were you satisfied? They have the option to let us know how everything went. A lot of the times people will be like, it was great. Can I book another move? Or I have a friend. And then, we follow up with them after the move, make sure everything's all closed out, and any questions or concerns they have from there are addressed.
Your customer satisfaction ratios do look pretty good. I'll let you brag about that a little bit, too, if you want to.
Yeah, so currently I believe we have a 98% satisfaction rate with our moves. We reach out to every single customer, no matter what the move happens, anything like that. We reach out and make sure they were satisfied, any questions they have, any help they need in the future. Sometimes we do multiple day moves, so we're reaching out basically every day. Is everything still going okay? Is the crew still there? Are you good? Our satisfaction rate's pretty high up there. Our crew definitely deserves it.
A multiple day move because they just had so much stuff, or you thought, hey, let's say we can get there late this afternoon and get started and finish in the morning. Why would there be multiple day moves usually?
Yeah, so multiple day moves occur for many reasons. So one reason could be, hey, my house is closing on Tuesday. Can you guys load up, hold it overnight, and unload the next day? Sure. That's something that we do pretty frequently. Multi-day moves could also be an office that's moving, and it is just a big office. So we're gonna be there for 3 days. So we'll be doing loads and unloads throughout that process. And multi-day moves, like interstate moves. Interstate moves are almost always a multi-day move.
I'm glad you brought up offices. We will get, I've been focusing on home moves, but we'll get back to office or business moves later in the program here on Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Our guests, Giselle and Jillian from 2 Men and a Truck. This is such a stressful exercise for the customer, and I'm sure you deal with this every day, and you can empathize with what's going on, worried sick that something's going to be damaged. Packing is a critical part of it. What do you have to do to help ensure things are packed correctly and secure? Now, a lot of that's going to be on the customer, but what about the movers themselves?
Yeah, so when the crew arrives at a customer's location, what they'll first do is they'll do a walkthrough of the home, and they'll double check to make sure that, hey, what's listed here on your inventory is what's here. That's a great start. Then what they'll do is they will go ahead with that walkthrough. They'll get a good idea of what items are going. Do we have a antique armoire that needs this extra TLC? So they identify those pieces of furniture that need that extra care. And then they will go ahead and pad and stretch wrap those furniture pieces that need to be padded and stretch wraps. And then they start loading the truck. And some customers have a situation where they are heading multiple stops. So maybe we're stopping at storage and we need to stack the truck a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So being very open about what's going on in your move so that the crew can pack the truck as best as they possibly can.
I imagine that happens now and again. Movers are in for a few surprises when they get to the house and they check the list. And, oh, you didn't tell me about your baby grand piano over there. Oh, yeah, that must have slipped my mind.
We try to watch out. Yeah, we try to watch out for those situations. That's why we ask those questions in the estimating process.
Yeah. Well, accidents will happen no matter how safe and careful you are.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a claim, do you feel that is a strength of two men in a truck?
I think it is. We take care of our customers as best as we possibly can and try to make sure that everything is taken care of. We had a couch damage, and it was a rough couch damage. We're not gonna say that it wasn't.
Oh, sure.
Punctured in a few places, and what we had to do is we had to find this fabulous furniture repair person in town. They went out on site to that customer's home and got it fixed to that customer's satisfaction. So we do use outside vendors to make sure that the damages are taken care of properly.
Yeah, that's a great example. Now, getting back to pre-packing and preparing and all those other pre's, and I'm talking about the customer, the person who's moving. There's a lot of advice and suggestions that you can give to them right ahead of time, just to ensure that not only to save some time, but to save them some money. Is there kind of a list of things that you go over with them to kind of get them prepped a little bit ahead of time if they can?
Yeah. So each customer receives a pre-move letter. It's something right after they book. It's sent out, and it tells them how to get ready. So it'll talk about packing, make sure you're all packed, what to do with clothes, kids and pets, appliances, how to have everything as ready as they possibly can for that move. With packing specifically, if you're talking about literally putting things into boxes, we do offer that service. So especially sometimes with young families, they're like, I have a 2-year-old running around. I can't do this.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
Yeah, we can come in and help out with that. Make sure those items are packed. In general, the heavier the item, the smaller the box. And utilize those special boxes like wardrobe boxes so that you can just hang your clothing items up, and it saves a little bit of headache on the other side, just being able to pick up those hangers and put them straight back on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How do you tell people to pack their clothes, Because I'm sure they think, well, I'm just going to put them in a great big bag or something, but they could be a little more efficient and neat about it.
Yep, I would say the wardrobe boxes are the savior there because you can hang things up, and then also underneath you can place things such as shoes or linens that don't reach all the way to the bottom of that box. They're usually about 48 inches high, so they're fairly tall boxes, but they're worth every penny.
What other tips come to mind that you have for packing specific items? I mean, in terms of how much wrapping, bubble wrap, paper, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you can, is there such a thing as having too much packing in there?
I wouldn't say as much as having too much packing. I would say, like, if you're packing your dishware, make sure to crumple up paper and put it at the bottom of the box to add in that extra layer of cushion. You can use something that's called a cell divider, which kind of breaks up the box into different sections. So you can put glassware in one section, plates in another, mugs in another. And then if you're packing something like china or the extremely delicate stuff, you will want to avoid newspaper or the kind of scratchy paper, and you'll want to go towards tissue paper in order to make sure that china stays safe.
Okay. All right. Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate, and our guests, Giselle and Jillian from Two Men in a Truck. And what are some of the major factors? Maybe major is not the right word. Let me just say, what are some factors that might come up that could affect the cost of a move? I'm thinking about, and you talked about this, Jillian, a little bit too, when you're asking the prospective customer about, well, tell me about the layout of your home, your apartment, or whatever, staircases and things. But are there little things like that could add something to it? Number of stairs, how far away the movers might have to park their truck and carry items. There's little factors like that.
Yeah, so typically in that initial estimate, we try to be really thorough about,
Sure.
Are we going to be able to get the truck right up to that door, or will we need to have a walk for the crew? We try to get it as close as we possibly can, but we do understand, if you're on the third floor apartment, you can't get the truck up to the third floor door. Things like, pianos, if they're big, we do need more men, so that might take just a little bit more time. Stairs can affect, but our crews are pretty good about, being time efficient with those. Would say another factor is probably just that drive time. Just keeping in mind, the truck does move a little bit slower than the average car. So keeping in mind drive time will add on to your move just a little bit. But our crew is really good about getting in that estimate time. And if there are any revisions that we need to make, we're really upfront about that. We have you sign a paper. So you're super clear about that and no surprises are added on at the end of your move.
Exactly. I'm really getting a sense of that talking to you. It's all about full disclosure, isn't it? I mean, you want to be, you're not trying to catch the customer off guard or an unexpected expense. You are trying to find out just every single little detail. You're doing your job so you can give them an accurate estimate.
Yeah, I mean, moving is a very stressful time in someone's life. The last thing you want is, oh, surprise, it's actually not what we told you. So we try to go through every single scenario item that you could possibly have in your house and make sure that that's on that initial estimate. And if, something does happen, you're like, oh, shoot, I thought I had 20 boxes. It's actually 100. You just give us a call and we will add that onto your estimate, send you a new one so you have a better idea.
Yeah, thought I had 20, turns out I had 100. Yeah, I could see that happening, actually. Special thank you to some of Diane Beck's marketing partners that help bring you Missoula Real Estate Today here on KGVO. Rob Fleming with Man Mortgage, Miles Link of Opportunity Bank of Montana, and Carol Blodgett from MakeItMissoula.com, and Giselle and Jillian with us from Two Men and a Truck. Let's see, Jillian, success stories. Are there, or Giselle you're gonna take that one? Okay, Giselle's gonna take that one. Any jobs that you've done recently or otherwise that really made you feel good about being part of Two Men and a Truck?
Certainly, there are days when things go a little crazy and you need to figure out what you're going to do next. And that's when we really thank our customers for being flexible. I'll tell you about a time. It wasn't the smoothest, but it was a success. So we were over at a customer's home, and the truck decided it didn't want to start anymore. So the crew had already loaded the truck, and what we ended up doing was towing the truck to the second location, unloading the truck, towing the truck back away. The customer, it took a little bit longer. We did remove that time from them. Obviously, it stretched out their day a little bit getting that tow truck in there, but the move was completed successfully. So that is a success story, and that everything was taken care of. That customer was taken care of. So
yeah, whatever it takes. Huh?
Whatever it takes, yeah. Movers who care.
Did we get that truck fixed? By the way, is it all?
Yes, truck is fixed.
Okay. I'd like to talk about Two Men and a Truck's community involvement. Specifically locally, of course, but I'd like you to talk about moving services that you donate. Let's start there, and from there, if we can we move into the Movers for Moms program and Movers for Mutts? Can we talk about all of that?
Certainly, yeah. So we do donate several moves throughout the year, mostly to women's shelters here in Montana. So we do work with Mountain Home Montana. Just to kind of get those women to the next phase of their life. Moving can be extremely stressful, but hopefully we're taking them to the next chapter.
And is that Movers for Moms? Is that okay? That's a separate thing.
Yep, Movers for Moms is separate. The donations this past year we did give them to Mountain Home Montana, but what we're collecting there, wide variety of things from sheets and bedding to diapers, baby wipes, cleaning supplies. Runs the full gambit of what those moms need in order to be successful. That's what we collect donations for at senior homes, grocery stores, all that. Okay,
when we were getting acquainted before we went on the air, Jillian, you claim to be the Movers for Mutts expert here, so we'll let you talk about that element of Two Men and a Truck and what they offer there.
Yeah, Movers for Mutts is a new program that we are starting up. We just ran it this year. And it was a donation drive to benefit the Humane Society here in Montana, or Missoula, sorry. And I set up a box with Giselle's help outside of Missoula Fresh Market and had that out for about 2 weeks, posted on Facebook, our website, kind of reached out to different people and groups and kind of got the word out on that. We ended up donating quite a few supplies to the Humane Society. We collected everything from peanut butter, dog bowls, treats, leashes, cat toys, canned food, everything like frisbees. We threw in some 2 Men in a Truck tennis balls, just kind of collected things to help the pets out. We called it Movers for Mutts, and hopefully we can go on and do that next year.
And you had donation boxes set up at Missoula Fresh Market? Is that?
Yeah, so we had a big box set up right in front of the door that said Movers for Mutts on the front. We had like a kind of a wish list that the Humane Society provided us, so people knew kind of examples of what they could be donating. And you just, bought a can of peanut butter, a can of food, put it in the box, and I collected it at the end of the 2 weeks and delivered it over to the Humane Society.
Yeah, and it sounds like you got a pretty good response.
Yeah, it was good. Hopefully next year we can double it.
Yeah. Let us know, would you? I mean, us being the radio stations, we're happy to run, free public service announcements
of course.
For that kind of thing. Just if there's anything we can do to, with any of the programs, whether it's Movers for Mutts, Movers for Moms, whatever, any of those kinds of things that benefit, we're happy to give you a little free publicity on that. So let's talk about in-home moving services. Oh, wait, before we do that, also you were involved in Festival of Trees in some way. What happened with Festival of Trees?
Yeah, so each year at the end of Festival of Trees, we help deliver the trees that were purchased, and that takes the extra TLC and care. We're moving trees that have their ornaments, and they're all decorated up to the local residents here in Missoula. Yeah,
so you were in charge of that. That's good. Okay, now I'll ask you about in-home moving services. May not be something a home or business owner might think of using a moving company for, but you offer that option, right?
We do. So a pretty common situation, someone's calling in saying, hey, we're getting new flooring in. We need to move our stuff around. So we will come in, move everything to like a garage area, and then move everything back. Same goes for remodeling or just kind of restructuring their home if they're getting a shipment in of furniture, anything like that. We'd be out and able to help.
And, of course, we're on a real estate show, so we've been talking mainly to homeowners or apartment dwellers or whatnot that might have to move to another location in the area. But same thing happens with businesses. A business decides, hey, we're moving to a new location or we just bought this new building. Is the process pretty similar, or is it a lot more complicated in some ways? Because if you're a fairly good-sized business, there's going to be a lot of different items that will need to be relocated.
Yes. So businesses, we typically come out to the business and do a walkthrough. What we do is we take photos of everything that's moving, and then we'll inventory from there. Businesses also tend to have particular needs. Sometimes they need to have a sterile move. So how are we going to accomplish that? Like moving medical equipment, anything like that. Sure. So we do that walkthrough, and then we look at our schedule to try to accommodate. Sometimes they need a move that's going to be later in the day than it typically would be, or they need something that's over the weekend when maybe we wouldn't be doing that large of a move on a weekend. So we try to accommodate those moves as best as possible. Yeah.
So a few different things go into it there. Well, believe it or not, we're almost out of time. You two have been terrific guests, Giselle and Jillian with 2 Men in a Truck on Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. So it is time to extol the virtues of 2 Men in a Truck. Why are you the right choice when it comes to moving?
Yeah. So I think what the big thing is that we're the movers who care. So we try to get everything done as safely as possible. If you look at our reviews online, you'll see majority just say the crew is fabulous. They're polite. They're kind. And I think that's something that's a little bit unique. The guys come to your home or your business with a smile, and we'll get it done for you. We'll get you taken care of today. So just making sure that we treat you guys like family, get everything done as quick as possible, and make sure that you're as happy as possible.
You bet. And how do we track down 2 Men in a Truck?
2 Men in a Truck. You can visit us online at 2menmissoula.com, or you can...
Is it the number 2?
TWO.
Okay, spell it out. TWO Men.
2 Men, TWOMEN, Missoula, MISSOULA.com.
2menmissoula.com, all right.
Yep, and then by phone, 406-251-9818.
Giselle Bright, Jillian Davis from 2 Men in a Truck did a great job. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for listening to Missoula Real Estate Today. We hope you found this morning's information to be helpful. If you have any suggested topics for any future Missoula Real Estate Today programs or any questions about buying or selling, contact Diane Beck with Windermere Real Estate. Email dianebeck@realtor.com or visit her website, homesinmissoula.com. That's homesinmissoula.com. We'll see you next time on Missoula Real Estate Today.